Let's get it. He goes hard with the hype. So Susie Love of the meat. Ace Pong. Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting? I ain't gonna lie, I killed a couple jokers on this verse and everything. Let me see. That's you. Because they ain't paid. Because they ain't paid. Yeah. 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 Welcome, everyone, man. Welcome, everyone. We appreciate you joining us, man. Once again, it's the guys, man. This is the Fire Nights podcast, man. Thought-provoking black culture lifestyle experience, sports, entertainment, current events. You name it, we do it. Leave no stone unturned. Shit won't be. Hello. How are ya? It's Tuesday nights, man. Y'all can be anywhere, man. But y'all with us. We appreciate it. Never, ever goes unnoticed, man. We definitely appreciate y'all joining us, man. We're here once again. Where are we at? Fresh Dough. 3616 Kirkwood Highway, better known as the East Square Cigar Lounge. Home. In other words, better known as home, man. Home.
Shout out Oski.
Shout out home, man.
What's up, good brother?
Shout out to my brother, man. He's absent, man. He's taking care of business, man. Shout out to the boy Ice Man. Taking care of business. Ice Man, you know I miss you, baby. I miss the hope. Do not fret. He will be back with us, man. He will be back with us. How you feeling, man? How you feeling, man?
Hey, listen, man. Hold on. Let me make it clear.
That's where we going?
Let me make it clear how I'm feeling, man. I'm feeling like 4-1, man. But we're gonna touch that a little bit later. I'm feeling real Trey Dig-ish. You know what I'm talking about?
Did you get it? Did you get the jersey yet? Did you get it? Perhaps. How you feeling? Fresh Dough? Hey, man. I'm a West Coast guy today, man. Call me easy.
Check-in. Shout out Eddie Daba. Cuzzo.
Man, so listen, man, it's Tuesday night once again, man. You know how we do, man. Nothing's off limits when we on these microphones, man. Once again, we appreciate it. I can't stress it enough. We are back again. So listen, man. Without further ado, man, y'all know how we do, man. What's the big thing, bro?
Man, listen.
What we getting into tonight, man?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You say a little bit of this, a little bit of that, man. That means a lot. Hey, oh, man.
Hey, man, listen. We're going to start it with, I'm going to kick this one line. This is how we're going to start it. The only Christopher we acknowledge is who?
Wallace.
Okay.
Wallace.
All right. So we're going to start talking about this punk-ass Christopher Columbus, right? So y'all went to school when I went to school. Alright, we was all in school at the same time. So they taught us that Christopher Columbus discovered America, right? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Wasn't just me? Okay.
What I was told.
So they taught us in school that Christopher Columbus discovered motherfucking America. Huh? So, as we all know by now, hopefully we all know by now, he ain't discovered a motherfucking thing. He never even stepped foot in America. Let's start right there.
In case you didn't know.
You get what I'm talking? He never stepped foot in America.
Or maybe you don't know.
You did?
Maybe you don't know.
So listen, man.
Maybe you don't know.
So, a lot of y'all might know also, you might not know that day that just passed was the 11th of October, second Monday in October every year was Christopher Columbus Day, right? It is now Indigenous People's Day, right? Let's give it up for that a little bit, right? Because, you know, there are some indigenous people who I feel like they feel they deserve that, and you know they have the right to feel like that, right? And hopefully they teach some kids in school now that Christopher Columbus ain't about shit, because he raped, he pilfered, he stole, he enslaved. Slavery wasn't even a thing when he enslaved.
You discover something there's people already there. How do you discover something that when there's people already there? Prospering. How? That's the part I don't understand.
When you don't,
You know what? You know what? Fuck it. I discovered. He discovered it. It's already there. I don't get it.
when you
I
don't
start claiming shit.
when you don't value humans as humans, that's when you start claiming human stuff as your stuff. You're like, oh, they ain't me. I can care less about them, even though they have arms, legs, mouth,
It's like
head.
a real life game
It's
of
like
dibs.
Right.
Like a real life game of dibs.
Dibs.
Yeah. So that part, I have totally no clue why that's still being reiterated in schools, why it's still being perpetuated in society, about all the ills that Christopher Columbus and Italians did. Now let me say this. I think everybody should have their own day. You know what I'm saying?
Elaborate on that. What you mean by that?
I think if you're an Italian, you should be proud about being an Italian. I don't think that you have to put Christopher Columbus' name on a day, because it actually gives it a different connotation to all the good Italians out there in the world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, celebrate your day, but don't put it under the name of Christopher Columbus. Put it under Italian.
But here's what a lot of people don't understand. I think a lot of our Italians don't even know this. They don't even know the reason why they acknowledge and celebrate Christopher Columbus. But they do because at one point in time, Italians were not considered white people. So what they did is they said to themselves, hey, we got this Italian guy. Oh, there it comes. There it is.
In itself.
We got this Italian guy, Christopher Columbus, who discovered some shit. Cool, right? Let's attach ourselves to this guy. Then maybe we'll be accepted as white people, right? So that's why a lot of Italians back this whole Columbus Day, and don't be confused. A lot of them still celebrate it. A lot of schools, cities, states still celebrate this shit. Don't get it twisted. Even though President Biden has now called it Indigenous Peoples Day, it's a lot of people don't give a fuck about that shit, and they still consider it Columbus Day. They still give kids a day off, whatever the case may be. But a lot of Italians don't know that they weren't considered Americans at some point, white Americans at some point. So they attach themselves to this shit, and that's why they hold on to it so dear. You understand what I'm saying?
To piggyback on your point,
Means something.
to piggyback on your point, the Irish weren't considered white people. You know, very Eastern European whites weren't considered white people. Only Anglo-Saxons that came from England.
Oh, it was very exclusive.
Very exclusive people were being considered white people. So, like they say, a paddy wagon. Actually, that's actually a racist term, because you attribute that to all the Irishmen that you didn't give any jobs to, and you say, all right, well, police these people. And then there was so many Irish people that was policed, they actually called it the paddy wagon. So that's actually a racist term. So, to piggyback on B-Matt's point, you actually had to do something of significance to be considered white. So the Italians piggybacked on I want to say, building things and unions and stuff like that. You know, Italians jumped in on policing and things of that nature. Like they say, the Jewish people, they jumped in on finance. Now, all those places, you have to respect these people. Now, they didn't always have this respect. So, just piggybacking on good brother B. Matt's point, they attaching themselves to something because in the beginning, they weren't considered whole, totally white people themselves.
It's crazy.
Can't make this shit up.
It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. I just can't get over the fact that it's celebrated to literally go somewhere, man, and just decide, man, I like it here. It's mine.
And it's 5% eating here, man.
What?
I like it here. This is mine.
Inside.
You know, I mean, but that's what happened, right? I like it here. This is mine. Y'all cool and all, but you know, I like it here.
I mean,
This is mine. That's mine too. That's mine.
I mean, you're actually painting it prettier than it actually was. This gentleman actually pulled up on the island and didn't say the things that you said. Hey, you know, these people, this island, hey, you know, I got dibs. He actually went even further than that to imprison, enslave, rape, and murder people.
Sound familiar?
Again, this is before slavery was a thing.
Sounds familiar, right?
Upon arrival of the island of, I want to say, somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yes, sir.
Never touched foot on continental North America.
Shout out Iceman and the Checker. Shout out to my brother from another mother, Mr. T. Type Love Player and Checker. What's up, bro? Man, shout out to Player. Third Player.
Wow, man. That's wild, man. You know, listen. One thing I would like to say though about Christopher Columbus Day and the Italians, like I said earlier, I just don't understand. Look, I'm not against you having your day. I'm actually for Italians having their day. But I don't know why, in this day and age, you would want to attach your name or the good Italians' names to Christopher Columbus or other Italians that have did their part to bring shame to Italians' names. I mean, are you oblivious to the fact of what he did? Or are you just going to overlook what he did? That's the part I want to say to the Italians out there, because, like they say, you have Encyclopedia Britannica in your hand. You shouldn't be this uneducated about certain things.
It's not a problem anymore.
Right. So now we either got to think you don't want to know, you don't want to recognize, you don't want to acknowledge the atrocities that your people have caused other people. Now, and that's unfortunate. No, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up, man. Who was that? Mel's mom? His sister is fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Hello.
Shout out to Miss Derrick, true insider, man.
Mel
Back
B,
in the
too.
day. The system was fucked up.
So dig this, man. That leads me right into our next topic. Right? Our next topic is symbolic over significance. Right? And this is kind of what we touched on last week. Right? We was talking about the George Floyd statue and all that shit, right? What they quick to do to us, they quick to throw a symbol at us. Say, here, motherfucker, take this symbol. Here, take the statue. Here, take this Indigenous Day. Take this Juneteenth. Right? So they give us a symbol as opposed to significance. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, how about that John Lewis Voting Rights Bill?
Speak on.
How about that George Floyd Policing Act bill?
Hello.
Nah, take the statue. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is why I was so adamant about, I don't give a fuck about a George Floyd statue. And that's no disrespect to George Floyd and or his family. None. But that ain't helping me. That ain't helping us. You understand what I'm saying? So, what y'all think about that, man? Symbolic over significance, man.
What's like, let me personally like I said, I think I said what I needed to say last week. For the most part, it's almost like a starving person in the desert, and you give them a thimble of water. It is water, it's talking of it in the sense of it being water, but that's not doing me. It's not doing me no good. It's a momentary breath of fresh air or satisfaction, but just literally momentary. That's all it is. It means absolutely nothing because there's no action behind it.
Well, this is how I see it. I mean, I kind of feel like the brothers up here, you know, it's an empty gesture. But what I will ask the people is, do we really have our eyes open to what the people are trying to do? And I'm saying it to say this. In respect to a George Floyd or a Symbolic statue being put up, I understand how empty it is to the bigger picture. But if you was to think about it from this perspective, if you didn't have a George Floyd monument, you didn't have a Martin Luther King Boulevard in every city, you would have even more people talking about, no, don't teach slavery. Because what that actually does is, if you don't know about slavery, how you ever going to be against slavery? And it just keeps perpetuating a bullshit mentality in America that should actually be outlawed and illegal and not that. But when you own everything, that surpasses everything, you don't care what other people say. That's so. A statue is all we can have. Because actually they want to give you less. I don't want to give you what you actually want.
Is it all we can have or all they trying to give us?
That's all they're trying to give us.
Okay.
Now, it also, you have to piggyback on the point, we have to also go to these people and ask, beg, hold our hats in our hand, can you please listen to our demands?
But do we? Because check this out.
We have been. Just haven't been listening.
And part of my interruption. So we voted Biden in, right? We won the House. We won the Senate. Do we need to hold our hands out in bed? Because according to what they wanted, according to what they asked for, we win it. The Democrats have the House. We have the Senate. So there's no excuse. There's no reason why we shouldn't have the George Floyd Policing Act. There's no reason why we shouldn't have the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. Why? We have control. I completely agree.
We don't.
Right, because they rather give us a statue and a day.
Right.
And there's some people who say, okay, well that's a start. Bullshit. Because I guarantee you, come to voting in 2021, we're going to lose the House and or the Senate. We're going to lose it. And that's because Biden ain't giving us what we deserve right now. You said you had our back. I paid very close attention to politics. Very close attention. And they showed a clip from the CNN yesterday where he said, when I was down, when I was blah, 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 the African American people, they have my back. I got your back. Do you?
Then we get an Asian American protection.
Well,
Do you? Yes, very quickly. Very quickly.
We did. The thing I'm saying.
Of all things.
My point exactly.
Of all things.
All it took is a couple Asians to be
Of all
murdered
things.
in a massage parlor in Atlanta. And we got and people that talk nasty about the, like Donald Trump and Kung Flu and all that stupid shit. And we got an Asian protection bill. And so the John Lewis joint.
And after all of that, they want to argue with you about having a fucking statue, an empty statue. You feel what I'm saying? So it can be less, it can be worse. That's what I'm saying. It can be less, and it can be worse.
It's game, bro.
It's
game.
I agree.
It's game. They run a game, man.
I agree.
Take the statue.
I agree that the statue is not enough. It's an empty gesture. But I'm also looking at it as we can have even less.
What is less than that though?
We can
The
have.
statue means nothing.
We can have people like
The statue means nothing.
we can have people and entities like they're actively trying to do say, no, slavery didn't exist. You feel what I'm saying? And that
How does the George Floyd statue change that conversation?
if nobody wants to talk about slavery, then actually it'll be people out there like, hey,
But George Floyd has nothing to do with slavery.
what I'm we talking about empty gestures.
Okay.
And I'm talking about it could be even less than a statue or an empty gesture. It could be nothing, and it could be going back even further the other way, like it has been and was with a lot of statues and monuments of the Confederacy.
How does I feel what you're saying.
Right.
I don't agree with you, but I understand what you're saying.
Gotcha.
How does the George Floyd statue help us today?
To bluntly answer that question, it doesn't. I mean, that's the simple answer to that
So
question.
what's the point?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
So what's the point? It's game. They're gonna game
I don't say it help. I don't say it doesn't help. I don't.
So tell me how it does help.
Like I said last week, like if there was, let's say there was a 12-year-old, went to a school, they refused to teach critical race or anything about slavery, and you have a George Floyd monument in your city. Hey, Dad, what's this about? And maybe the dad is opening up to actually give the proper information to the child. That is what I'm saying. If there's no statue, this conversation never happens. That's what I'm saying. So
Can we agree that that is very minuscule?
yeah. I said it's very minuscule. I
We can
said
have
it's
that
very
conversation
minuscule.
from
But
the
it
George
could be-
Floyd video,
But just-
right?
We can't. But we don't. Yes, but you're assuming that
What am I assuming?
you're assuming that everybody has seen the video. This is a trap.
Are you assuming everybody has not seen
Yeah,
it?
actually, I know people that haven't seen the video, which is weird.
Yeah, there are people
Adults?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
there
hard as
are.
that is to believe.
Yeah, there are people that haven't seen it. There are people who refuse to learn about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't want to hear anything about it because it goes against what I actually believe.
Black people care. Black people haven't seen the video? No.
We ain't talking about black people.
No, man, that's a question. That's a
Because-
question.
Because if a black person sees it, really doesn't matter. We're talking about people that.
Yeah, that's I ain't talking about black people. Yeah.
So to your point, we're talking white people then, right? So a little white kid sees this George Floyd statue and his dad is going to explain to him, son, George Floyd was a good guy. Fuck no. His son.
No.
You can't say that. You don't.
I can't say what?
You don't know. You don't know. You're assuming. You don't know.
I
You
don't
can
know that
assume
this
both
white
ways.
dad.
You can assume both ways. You can assume both ways, B-Man. You gotta agree to that.
I don't agree to that.
You can assume both ways.
So you
bro.
said there's no white people out there that would have their
So you just saying every white person that look at the statue, if a son says, "What's that?" Every white person in America just gonna say,
that's not you.
There's no possibility at all. None.
No white
Zero?
people. No white
Zero.
The white people who haven't seen the George Floyd incident.
We're not talking about
No,
that.
we are.
We're not talking-
No, we
no,
are.
we're not.
No, let me finish my point.
Finish your point.
Because you just said there's some people who don't care.
Right, we passed that.
No, we're not.
We passed
No, we're
that.
not. I'm not past that. Because
Okay.
you just said that there's some people who don't care. The people who do care have seen it, and the people who do care are going to tell their child the right thing. But if you don't care,
Oh, so some people will tell their child the right thing.
Let me finish my point.
Okay, well, we don't have you just finished your
I
own
didn't.
point.
No, I didn't.
You just finished your
No,
own
I didn't.
point.
Let me know when you're ready
I
for
think
me
you
to
just
speak.
finished your own point.
Let me know when you're ready for me
You
to
can
speak.
speak.
Okay, well, can I speak?
Speak.
Can I speak by myself?
But you just finished your own point.
Can I speak by myself?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. You finished your own point, though.
Am I good?
You always good,
So
bro.
my point is
You always good.
so my point is this. My point is this. You said some people don't care to watch because they don't give a fuck. Your words, not mine.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Well, what about the other people?
how on? So the people who don't care to have seen it and don't give a fuck, and their kids see the statue, they're not going to give a fuck to explain to their kid what it is. But the people who have seen it and give a fuck, they're going to explain to their kids what it is, but they don't need to.
But did he just
Because
say that
they've
they
seen it.
won't? Didn't he just say that they won't?
You didn't let me finish my point, though.
Okay, go ahead.
But now that I finished my point, the people who don't give a fuck about it, they're not gonna give a fuck about the statue either.
Yeah, they never did.
That is my point. So what is the
Now,
statue
go-
doing?
go-
Because
go-
the people. That's my point. Period.
That's your point. Now,
Because the
point was that they're not going.
What you can't do is tell me what my point was.
I just did.
No, you can't.
I just did.
That's your opinion on my point.
No,
that,
it's not.
that is your
That's what you said.
That is your misunderstanding
That's what
on
you
my
said.
point. That's what you heard.
That's what you said.
People out there
That's
heard
what you
it.
heard.
That's what you said.
That's what you heard. What I'm saying is this.
Repeat it again.
What I'm
What
saying,
you said,
you're,
what you
the,
said.
you're the one that said so. All white people, you said that. I didn't say that. You said that. What I'm saying,
What you said.
What I'm saying,
You seem to keep missing that. You seem to keep missing
what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I said no white people that give a fuck. So what I'm saying is, the white people who see it, who see the video, they don't have to spend their kids' statue. They will, but they don't have to. Because they see it. That's all he said. That's all he said. That's not what he said. That is not what he said.
That's exactly what I was saying.
That is not what he said.
The statue was there to provoke
Conversation.
Who?
the people who don't know.
The people who don't know don't care. It's what I'm telling you. That's my point.
Now, everybody
the
that
people,
don't know,
the people who don't know, and this is exactly what I
You're
said.
telling me a
and what you
12
didn't
you're
hear.
telling me a
The
12-year-old doesn't
don't
care.
The people who don't no, because you know why? The 12-year-old's parents don't care. So the 12-year-old is taught to not give a fuck.
No,
Don't
that's-
tell me you don't understand that.
I do it, but that's not true in every case.
If you
That's
watch,
not true in every
if
case.
you watch these
My
white,
mom and dad
if you,
told me a lot of
if
stuff
you
that I don't
watch
go by.
these white racists who are out here preaching the bullshit, they got their kids with them because they're teaching their kids the bullshit. So their kids don't give a fuck. That shit, you're not born not giving a fuck. You're taught to not give a fuck. Period. And that's what it is.
But I can swear we're talking about those.
No.
I
We were talking about those who care about the statue.
We were talking about all people.
But everybody
all
don't care
people.
about the statue, so we can't be talking about all people.
That's what I. No, you right. We moving along. We moving right along.
Shout out to Amy on the check-in.
Amy, how you doing?
No, that ain't.
I'm sorry, but it's still shout out. Amy, how you doing?
Let's move on.
That's not Amy. That's not even Amy.
I ain't even drinking, y'all. I ain't even drinking, y'all.
All right, so dig this. So, we all heard about, I'm assuming, we all heard about the whole, the John, I think it was, I want to say Arlington, Texas, where the young boy shot a couple people in the school. Right? And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure it was Arlington, but correct me if I'm wrong.
It is.
Right? So, what I want to talk about in this situation is this. So normally, right, when there's a school shooting, we got, some kid or kids who they got a bunch of guns and they got the ARs and they, we gonna go in this school, we gonna kill a whole bunch of people. And that's the plan. Hence, school shooting, right? So they go in there, boom, they kill a bunch of people. You hear the news, school shooting, they're locked down.
Shout out
Boom,
to
boom,
Dad in
boom,
the
boom,
house.
boom, boom, right? And then you sit here, you ask yourself, hey, who's the person? Are they black? Are they white? Because they don't show them for like 3 days. Right? But dig this.
That's normally my reaction.
Right, but check this out.
Yeah,
But check this out. So with this joint, right? It was a school shooting, right? And I'm using quotes, right?
Air quotes?
Yeah, it was a school shooting, right? But it was a little bit different. Right?
How so?
Let me tell you, sir. I'm glad you asked.
How
I'm
so?
glad you asked that question, sir. Let me tell you how it was different.
How so?
Because there was a young guy who was getting bullied in school, right?
No, just give the basic facts.
Okay, basic
facts.
facts.
And then we'll get some back.
Got you. You right. Basic facts is this. School day starts, boom. There's a fight in school. Somebody gets jumped. The guy who gets jumped, he pulls the hammer out and starts clapping.
Okay.
And he hits a couple people. Okay. Luckily nobody died. Right? So, school shooting. CNN, boom, news. Within 30 minutes, we got a black guy picture up, he smile, he got gold teeth and all that, right? So I'm like, damn, that's weird. That's peculiar. They never show the guy's face that soon. That's odd. Right?
Usually they never show juvenile faces.
Well, in
Oh,
some
he's a
situations,
juvenile. Wait a minute, he's a juvenile?
he was 18. He's 18. He's 18. But, to your point, in certain situations, like school shootings, even if they're juvenile, they don't show their face, they can die. But they'll show for 2-3-ish days. They got this black kid. And the he was living low. He was blasted. So my question is this. Usual school shooting. Listen, man, I got some pipe bombs. I got a couple ARs.
There's a plan.
People, your AR. Yo, people, your AR. We gonna just start busting.
There's a history.
School shooting.
There's a history and
Again, in this
some sort of
situation,
trail.
That's
That's normal.
in this situation, right? I go to school, I get hopped on, and I start busting. Are they the same? Are they both school shootings?
First, do you want to tackle this or can I go? Or?
Go ahead.
All right. So, what you just described to me was a fight and a retaliation. Historically, from what we've seen, quote unquote, school shootings, to me, there's a pattern in terms of how they're constructed. There is a sort of long-term history. There is a sort of plan, almost. Kind of a drawn-out plan.
True.
Almost sometimes you can see it coming.
Yeah. This wasn't. Now, let me preface this by saying, don't condone anybody bringing a gun to school and shooting anyone, regardless of race, creed, color, no matter
We
what.
don't condone that if our
Say that.
With that being said, we're only trying to categorize what is considered a school shooting and an incident. Because that's what, to me, when I read the structure of this, and I understand this seems like an incident, right? It happened in school. It was a shooting. But the general term of what we've come to know as a school shooting has been, Columbine and things of that nature.
Sandy Hook.
Yeah. Does this seem to fall into that category? Yes, it happened at school. Yes, it involved a shooting.
Those seem to be the only two
Similarities?
similarities.
Okay.
When it came
But
to
there's one other similarity too. There's one, we'll get into that after you're done. We'll get into that.
the thing that I want to point to is what the good brother pointed out is, and we here at Fire Nights probably going to keep reiterating, is the treatment disparity between different people. We all have seen news, and we all have seen where people have been shot in schools and this type of thing. We all have seen the procedure and the protocol. For some reason, it was different in this protocol. I mean, in this situation, the protocol was different. You can assume what you want to assume about why it was different.
How about
You elephant in the room?
You can assume what you want to assume, but we here at Fire Nights will continue to reiterate the disparaging hypocrisy in the coverage of our people versus other people. It's just
So let me provide some backstory. Can I provide some backstory? Just a little bit of backstory.
Absolutely.
Just a little bit of backstory. You touched on it earlier. Now, a couple of things. Okay. 2 shot, 2 injured. Okay. Now, the shooter claims to have been bullied, not only bullied, but robbed, not once, but twice. And not only robbed twice, but robbed at gunpoint. Is that true or not? I don't know. But now, if we're going to listen to the psychological breakdown of other school shooters and what led into that, we have to take some creeps into this too. Right? Because in normal circumstances, it would be always psychologically affected and this, that, and the other, right? That's kind of like the normal narrative that comes out. So with that being said, let me add some more backstory to it.
Please do.
This is a young man whose father was beaten to death recently. Beaten to death. So that adds to trauma. We're talking about trauma. So not only is this kid's father's beaten to death recently, he's bullied in school, he's robbed at gunpoint. Twice. Hey.
Not once, but twice.
Twice. Twice. Now, with that being said, I've heard nothing about this kid's background in terms of him being a troubled kid. Now, we all know that. Now, I'm not saying it still won't come out.
They didn't say he got mental illness? 'Cause that's what they always say when the white guys do school shoot. They didn't say that. Oh, wow. They didn't say he was going through shit? No, they didn't say. I mean, besides the bullying, they didn't say he, he had trouble. None of that shit.
No criminal history has been dug up, and we know that if there was some,
Shout out to Aaron Morris on the check-in.
it could still come out. But how many days into this? This happened last week?
I believe it was last week, sir.
Trust me, if this kid was a criminal or a miscreant,
Oh, they had everything.
They know his gang affiliation.
Yeah.
the mugshot wouldn't have been as pretty as it looked. It would have been a different picture. Much different picture. Fresh, go ahead.
It's just to piggyback on all the points up here, man. It's just we at Fire and Ice going to continue to point out the disparaging hypocrisy between how we're covered and other people are covered. I mean, you can actually piggyback this to the first point. A lot of times things are framed in a way to make people look good. You know, if you're bombarded with a certain type of stimuli, it's just going to be in your subconscious, period. So if you keep seeing certain people look a certain type of way and certain people looking another certain type of way, you have no choice but to feel some type of way. So with that being said, it's terrible how we're portrayed and others are not portrayed. It's terrible.
Now, I'll add another point. Now, I know we all can remember with, all of these mass shootings and things of that nature, what is something that normally happens after that? Supporters of the individual do what? They put up a what?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
They bail them out, etc., etc.
Now, might I add, this young man did get a GoFundMe page started. However, the GoFundMe page was removed by the site because it violated terms of service.
They go GoFundMe.
I'm today years old when I learned that.
Wow.
I know that.
Violated terms of service.
What?
Can someone please tell me what the GoFundMe terms of service says? I need money, give me money.
Yo, remember the dude, man, that came from out of town with the AR, the white boy, and shot a couple people?
I do remember it.
Rittenhouse.
And they built, and they put him in
Kyle
GoFundMe, and they
I'm sorry,
bailed
what's
him
his name again,
out.
Fresh? What's his name
Kyle
again?
Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
They bailed him out.
Came from
They
Wisconsin
granted his
to
attorneys.
Illinois.
He had a GoFundMe, and they didn't take him down.
Folks, this GoFundMe raised quite a bit of money.
I want to say $250,000.
Quite a bit of money.
It's but that goes to me. That goes to show how people. It goes to show the very big picture. It goes to show the very big picture. It all falls underneath. They're playing a game against you. It's how do you violate the terms of service that says that's set up to say give me money when you're getting, mind you, it got shut down pretty quick, Fresh.
they said, you know what?
know that, bro.
You know what? Let's go ahead and shut that down.
The thing is, man, it plays right into the game.
Now, he has legal representation, don't get me wrong. He does have legal representation. He has been bonded out.
Okay.
He has been bonded out, absolutely. He has been bonded out, you know. He has legal representation.
Pretty sure he can't go back to that school. I'm pretty sure he can't go back to that school.
I mean, from what it sounds like, neighborhood sounds pretty rough. I mean, that sounds like
That sounds fair.
a situation that any black man in America could very well face in their neighborhood, in the hood. Sounds like.
Jose on the rock.
To be honest with you, you get bullied, Joker's picking on you. Hey man, I'm gonna go get me a hammer and I'm gonna go handle it in school. Now, mind you, there's a common thread, okay? Common thread in terms of, because in other shootings, you hear the common thread of outcasts, being bullied, this, that, and the other, okay? However, this is a little different because there's no long history here. There's literally, incident, and then him dealing with it. Should he have dealt with it that way? Yeah, of course not. You know what I mean? But coming from the hood, I get it. I get it. I understand, man. I understand. That's why, to me, and to your point, the characterization of this school shooting, yeah, but not in the same literal sense.
Appreciate it, good brother.
This is an incident. See, he didn't go there to target specific ethnic groups, specific individuals in terms of like ethnic groups and certain denominations. It sounds to me like that young man was protecting himself. To me, I could be crazy. I'm not saying what he did was right again, but I understand individuals protecting themselves.
Sure enough, understand.
Dudes in the hood protect themselves every day from different perils. He happened to have a peril in school and protected himself. That's where the quote-unquote beef happened. I hope for a speedy recovery of those that's injured, But did this guy have some troubled history and was some sort of left-wing monger or some sort of individual that targeted a specific demographic of people? No. Some just didn't want to get robbed, to get it sound like.
Or beat up.
Yes.
So dig this, right? Brother Dad was good enough to send me the terms of GoFundMe. And while he was talking, I just read it.
I'm curious.
And I haven't read anything in here that in my mind would lead them to remove homies GoFundMe. Now I do see where it says, and this is where they usually.
This word get fussy.
This usually where they do their
Word
1-2.
get fussy, y'all.
Yeah, it's where they 1-2 usually.
Do 1, 2,
We
1, 2.
reserve the right at our sole discretion to change or modify these terms of service at any time and without notice. So, in my mind, I'm not a lawyer. Never claimed to be. Right. In my mind,
Interesting.
this is where they can use their discretion and say, yeah, we don't want to support that. Or, and I believe that that sentence right there, that's the outline to do whatever. That's the right. This is our site. We got the right to ban me. So I think that's what that is. I read the entire thing. Just that right for talking. And I didn't see anything that lead me to believe that they would shut this anime site down over. What's the young boy's name in Wisconsin?
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Over Kyle Rittenhouse's
Now,
GoFundMe.
let me reiterate. We have seen some extreme situations where people have had GoFundMe accounts. We have seen moms that have killed allegedly killed their daughters or kids, or they've had GoFundMe accounts. What's the criteria? I'm curious. What's the criteria to shut down a GoFundMe account?
E. Jones. What's the trash, please?
I don't know.
Appreciate it.
I don't know.
So-
We have seen some egregious acts that we feel like, damn, people giving money to that person. And I mean, cash Rima.
To me, this just reiterates the facts. I mean, just reiterates how far some people will go to keep other people down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not like you just said, man. You see nothing in there that would prohibit the young man in Arlington to have a GoFundMe. That wouldn't prohibit the young man, what is piece of shit, I call him that, from Wisconsin. You know, but it all just goes back to, we don't care about y'all. We don't care about what you do. We never did. And at every chance we're fighting.
Naive. Is that what it is first? I'm going to be naive. I'm just going to play the naive role. Is that what it is?
Well, here's the thing, man. You can play naive, but when someone shows you who they are, you got to believe them.
Shout out my hands.
Because the thing is, you can actually do the right thing. But no. You choose to gray and muddy the area up, GoFundMe. You choose to do different shit, Texas. You can just do the right thing. But you choose not to. So what am I supposed to believe? That you actually for me? You've never been for me. Your track record shows as much. So, like I said, it just goes to reiterate the fact that you don't care nothing about black people as humans. So, I'm going to shut your GoFundMe down because I don't care about y'all. I don't care about your statue because I don't care about y'all. Yeah, that's how much I don't care about you. I'm fighting you over some shit that you want. But I'll give you a statue knowing it's empty. Knowing it's nothing. It's not what you're asking for. So, with that being said, it just piggybacks on all the points we've been saying all night. That we here at Fire and Ice are choosing to take up, like, no, we ain't having that shit. Like, we going to shine a spotlight on the bullshit.
There's no stone left unturned. That's what we do. We just want to, like I said, at the end of the day, we don't condone the actions. Absolutely. And I don't want anyone to get shot. No, I don't want anyone to get killed. But
No.
once again, let me also put the disclaimer. We are from the inner city.
We are from the inner city.
We understand.
Understand.
We understand. We just want to categorize the two, point out certain factors between the two, and let you decide. That's your choice.
Knowing and understanding the two certain factors.
I understand.
Like the good brother said, we don't condone,
But I
but we
understand.
get it. What that man said? Yeah.
Good Lord.
Give me a sound effect.
I said, you need to drink
Before I
something?
go-
Thirsty?
Listen, before I go here, give me a sound effect.
Hold on.
Give me a sound
And
effect.
let's say shout out to my child, to my bro Mike Will in the building.
Mike Will.
Hammer Club for life.
Give me a quick sound effect real quick before I go with this. Please.
Hold on, man.
Go ahead. Take your time. Take your time with it, man.
I
Because
gotta be appropriate.
this about to get good, man.
Shout out to the good brother Dan.
So let's do it.
Hey man, what y'all know about closing?
Ride with me.
What y'all know about closing? What y'all know about that? What y'all know about critically listening?
So dig it. So all right. Two words. Dave Chappelle. So go ahead. Do that. Dave Chappelle, okay. Give him horns. Leave another horn. Oh! There it is. One more. So dig it. So as you all know, if you don't know, where the fuck you live? In the Rock, the Cave, where you looking at? So Dave Chappelle has a Netflix comedy stand-up show called The Closure, right? And you know, as most of y'all know, if you've seen it, you know, he touches on a lot of LGBTQ plus topics.
You got that. She
Issues.
nailed that. That's a
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm here all night.
man, good Lord, you nailed that, man.
So listen, man. You know, it's been a hot topic. It's been a hot button. I've seen it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. Now, I can't speak from an LGBTQ plus perspective.
You ever heard that, bro?
Nah, bro, it's just, you know what I mean? From my point of view, it was funny. It wasn't offensive to me, but again, I can't speak from the LGBTQ plus point of view. I can't speak from that perspective, so I don't know if it should be offensive to them. But I thought it was fucking hilarious. Talk about it, man. What he did. Talk about it, man. Lamar Kelly, what's up, good brother?
Okay. Not first place. Go first.
You know what's funny about Dave Chappelle, man? I've been rocking with Dave Chappelle since the first time I seen him on Def Jam in the '90s sometime. And back then he was still pretty much Dave Chappelle. You know what I'm saying? That we know now. He was a show. And I've been following this man for a long time, his career. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I fuck with him. So I listened to him. Not saying I study him, but I listen to him. And I don't hear very well, so I gotta listen very attentively when I'm hearing people. You know what I'm saying? When people are talking. I've been listening to Dave Chappelle a long time, man. And he says something in that stand-up that made a lot of sense to me. He said, LGBTQ community, I'm not cracking jokes on y'all. If you notice, I don't have a problem with y'all. If you notice. My problem is with white people.
He said that.
Hold on. Whoa.
He said that.
Hold on. Whoa.
He
Time
said
out.
that. A bunch of white people in the crowd. He said that.
Hold on, Fresh. Hold on.
I heard it.
Hold on, bro.
He said it.
That's extremely important.
Dave Chappelle.
Say it again.
Dave Chappelle in his stand-up said, you guys are not listening. If you were listening, you will understand that my problem is not with the LGBTQ community. My problem has been and always will be with white people.
He said that.
That has been
that
has been such a reoccurring theme in all of his stand-ups. He just pointing out stuff very brilliantly, very well thought out and well spoken. So if you're listening, now I'm not saying people ain't listening, but if you listen attentively to what he said about LGBTQ community, let it be necessary. I'm not LGBTQ, no offense, so I can't speak from your perspective. But I heard what he said, I heard what he's been saying, and from my perspective, like he said, he's always been an advocate of gays. He's always been on the side of lesbians. He loves lesbians. He's always just wondered, for one, you know, why do the trans community or the LGBTQ community go harder on the LGBTQ community than actual straight people do? And he was saying, is anybody actually listening to what I'm saying? It was so deep, and it was so well thought out, and it was so, what's the word I'm looking for? It was so, his pattern, from what I've seen of him, Dave Chappelle is not, to me, out here bashing, or like he said, punching down on the LGBTQ community. I don't see that. I never have seen it. I'm not LGBTQ. so I can't speak from their perspective. But if I was, I don't know if I would be offended by what he's saying.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Because, okay, and I'll tell you why that's such a good point. Because there have been jokes against many marginalized communities, man.
Check them off.
Many
Check 'em
marginalized communities, man. You know what I mean? So, my thing is, if there's so many marginal, and let me just read off a few, just for those that don't understand how many different sects of jokes can come. You got, you figure, senior citizens, racial cultural minorities, military combat vets, persons of average intelligence or below average intelligence, hearing, visually, physically impaired, and substance abusers, sexual offenders, and felons. So the list of marginalized communities run the gamut to the point where also I'm a black man. I've in my time, I'm 46 years old. Do you know how many nigger jokes there have been? How many watermelon jokes? How many chicken jokes? How many spear chucking, high jumping, big lips?
Degrees, basketball, dunking.
Now, so okay. So I guess my question here, I guess my thing, and like you said, you gotta understand that they doesn't have a beef with the LGBTQ plus community. It's more of their cancel culture with everything that involves anything spoken about them or towards them. It's not, hey, let's go kill or beat up, or it's literally the same comedy that we've been witnessing since we've been here and before we got here, that will continue to be here before we go. I mean, after we leave. It's the same comedy. If you can't laugh at yourself, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. To me, there's a difference between hate and humor. There is a difference. There's a difference. A huge difference. And we'll talk about that. We'll discuss that.
So I agree with you 100%. So it's like, in my opinion, it's like this. Like, for example, the last topic we were talking about, that's that we should bring to the negative train elevation of evil. We can disagree with each other. Since we were 13 years old. But guess what? It's cool, right? We can have different opinions about different shit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
As long as it's not hateful.
right? And you know, and we crack with each other. If I'm mistaken,
All the time.
I wish Fife was here.
Holy
I wish Fife was here. Because if y'all can see the shit that's in our thread, in our text thread, Fife be going in on us, bro.
Now, here's the thing. I'm glad you mentioned.
Going in.
Let me say
cool,
this. So
because it's funny.
So in the midst of our debate,
Y'all fight, dog.
which I always still call it a debate because it's a spirited debate.
Fact.
If I turn around and say something personal in a hateful way meant to hurt you. Now my intent is to hurt you, okay? Because there's intent and then you have motive. So if my motive and my intent is to hurt you in the middle of our discussion, that's different. That's different. Much different. If we're debating and I turn around and say something personal about you and your personal life in order to hurt you, then by all means you have every right to be extremely upset. Extremely upset. But we're talking intent. We talking intent. We talking intent. I may call you a nigga in between us arguing. You're gonna get called a few niggas. You know what I'm saying? You're right gonna get called a few niggas. But I'm not intending on hurting you. I'm not intending on hurting you.
I want. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
I want to bring up something that was in the actual special. Dave Chappelle was actually friends with a transgender comedian. Her name was Daphne Dorman. I want if y'all want to look it up, y'all can. But if you actually listen to what the family of the transgender woman said, that might sum it all up for y'all who actually think that he was punching down on the transgender community. They actually said that no, Dave Chappelle, they've come forth recently and said no, you guys are wrong about Dave Chappelle and your LGBT.
This is the family.
The family of the woman that he was speaking to specifically in his stand-up special. He actually knew this woman. And the thing is, what he pointed out, what a lot of people don't understand or won't recognize is the LGBTQ community treated one of their own worst.
Was Leonard the what?
Suicide, jumping off a building. That's the point. That's one of the points that Dave Chappelle was bringing up.
Not what Dave said.
It isn't what Dave said that made Daphne jump off the roof.
Not with me, who's outside of the LGBTQ plus community. Not mine specifically. But,
Okay.
but.
Now we still want to fly, baby.
Yeah.
Fly.
Not what we said. Not what Dave Chappelle said. What her own community, her own people said.
Family, blood.
Commit suicide, kill herself. Let that
Because
sink in.
because she befriended someone.
Let that sink in.
And I don't want to pick sides, but just to point out the facts, this is a close friend of this man.
And she was a terrible comedian.
Close friend of this man. Close friend.
Close friend.
And her own community ostracized her to the point where they drove her to suicide.
Shut up, let's go. What's up, Aki?
Drove her to suicide.
Cousin Greg, who said that?
Now, I guess there's a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said. So I guess one of the things that I gotta kind of throw out there is, where's the line? Where's the line between you and me? So where's the line? I've been to, first of all, I gotta say, you just feel like I love doing that, right?
After the
I heard a talk radio show, and the individual whose show it was a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and something he said was, I don't like it when, I'm quoting him, I don't like it when people talk about our community. It's just like if a white person cracked jokes about a black person. Right? And I thought about that. I said, damn, well, I've been to comedy shows where I've heard white people talk about black people. And I thought this shit was funny. That's just me, because I don't take shit personally, right? I've also, something he didn't mention, this individual, I've also heard where black comics, and I'm sure we've all fucking heard it, where black comics came out on stage, hey my white people, you know, white people this, and they can't dance, and they can't. And if it's funny, I laugh. Right? And no one ever bats an eye at it. No one ever says, oh, you shouldn't do that, you should. Because if the shit's funny, it's funny. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, whether it's a black comic talking about white people, Chinese people, whatever, or it's a Chinese or a white comic talking about black people. If the shit is funny, I'm going to laugh.
done tastefully.
Maybe that's just me, because I'm not easily offended.
So let me ask the question. Is part of that because of where you are? Does that play a part in it? Because if I go to a comedy show, I'm expecting comedy.
Right.
So
True.
Is it the context you receive it? Because that same joke, okay. So give me a white comic says,
Hey,
oh,
black
man,
people, got no chicken in here for y'all.
Yeah. Now, that's funny
I
in
don't
a
care about
comedy
that
club.
shit.
Now,
I
is that
do
funny?
shit like that.
Is that funny in the bar? Let's say you at the bar, and let's say not a comedy show, general setting. Someone comes in and says, "Hey, hey, everybody, how everybody doing? Black people, y'all got enough watermelon chicken in here?"
I'm
Is
gonna
it
give
funny?
him the rock eye. Like, hold on, bro,
So-
what you talking about? Because to your point, it's in a bar. If I go to a comedy show, I want to hear comedy. If I go to a bar and I'm chilling with my folks and I'm drinking, I don't want to hear this white dude cracking black jokes because nigga, that ain't what I'm here for, homeboy. He might get punched on, and that's just what it is. Just like if we go on a white bar and we cracking white jokes, we might have a fight in our hands, and that's what it is.
There's
If
no
we
fight.
if we go on an LGBTQ bar and we crack LGBTQ jokes, we might have a fight in our hands, and that's just what it is. But if I go to a comedy show or I watch Netflix and it's Dave Chappelle comedy, I expect to laugh.
I guess, and I guess where I'm going with this is, what's your intent at that point? You know what I mean? Because in a comedy show, now, you also have to understand familiarity with the person who's delivering, okay? Now, to certain people, now, this man may be a saint to certain people, but if Donald Trump walks in here and he delivers what would a joke about, like that same joke, we may look at that kind of sideways. But if, let's say, fucking, what's my man name? The white comedian.
Bill Burr.
If he comes in here, different expectation from him, you know? Different expectation of him.
If you laugh, dude.
We may very well laugh because we feel more comfortable with him delivering, because we know the intent. We don't know Don's intent. We don't know Don's intent. We don't know his intent when he's delivering that joke. Just like Dave Chappelle is a known comedian who has or even worse, are you really taking what he says to heart in terms of him really thinking that he doesn't like you or he hates you? I don't understand.
Well, to be fair, I never heard him say I hate L. I never heard him hate. I never heard him say I hate L.
He's delivered
L's,
some hard Oriental
G's,
jokes.
B's, T's, or Q's. I never heard him say I hate these people. He's correct. Order plus. I never heard him say, man, I hate y'all, and then go out and say hateful jokes. I've never heard that. I've heard some funny shit. Like, damn, that was funny. You know what I'm saying? He can actually put some shit into frame it and to a perspective to make you think and laugh at the same damn time. So, the funny part to me is, I'm like, I've never heard him punch down on people. He's just really cracked jokes. Like, he's cracked jokes on everyone. That's what I've heard.
He's making light of our differences. You know, our
Somebody-
slight differences.
Somebody told me this. They say, yo, I know what I told you. I can't account for what you heard. I know what I said. I can't account for what you're hearing. From what I've heard from Dave Chappelle, I heard it one way. Other people hear it another way. Now, he said what he said. Now, me, standing where I'm standing, I'm like, I don't see any lies. I don't see any hate or malice in his jokes. I don't see any of that from where I stand. I can't say what other people heard. Now, if you would have asked me, I'd say, yo, man, I don't think that, I just think he was cracking jokes. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, if you ask LGBTQ plus community, they'll tell you different. Now, are they, like the brother said, where's the line at to where they are offended? Because it seems like their line is a little bit shorter than other people's line is. I don't know, don't say it. Their line is almost akin to Muslims. Like, don't say anything about a Muslim. Gotcha.
Okay,
I won't.
So fresh. Let me ask you this. So, okay, and we talked about this the other day. So, if we can't say anything about them, are they allowed to laugh at anything else?
They have to be a laughless community.
Because that's what it seems like.
Well, here's the thing with me. I'm like, well, how can you take telling jokes about somebody else and not you?
You've never stood up for any other marginalized community but your own.
He speaks, and comedians speak on every demographic. Why is when he speaks on your demographic, it's not funny?
Brother
It's taboo or off limits.
Brother Lamar Kelly kind of said exactly what you just said. Brother Lamar Kelly said,
Shout out to Lamar Kelly, man.
Have you ever watched Dave Chappelle skits? Because he goes on everybody, and that's true. He lets everybody have it. Nobody's spared. Everybody can get some of his business, right? And to your point, I don't remember hearing the LGBTQ plus community going hard on Dave Chappelle then. And maybe I just was out of the loop, I don't know. But I don't remember hearing that. But now all of a sudden, it's an issue. And some people, and I've even heard some people say, well, he's talking about it the whole show. And so maybe he's hiding something. Maybe I disagree.
Yeah, people say he undercover gay. I'm like, whoa.
And he might be. I don't know that.
He might be. I didn't get that.
I don't know, but that's not what I took from him.
So
the man's a comedian. He's funny as shit.
let me ask you this. Because it seems to me as if it's almost like the thought process is Dave Chappelle is furthering hate towards the LGBT community. Now, my question here is, does the comedy incite the action for the people, or is the comedy just a reflection of what's going on?
Personally, I think it's a reflection of what's going on.
But I think comedy seems is a very hard way to deal with people suffering. It's everybody suffering. It's everybody suffering, right? Everybody has some form of suffering, right? Okay? How much do we take? It's all way of humor is the opposite of trauma, almost, you could say. Trauma or tragedy, so to speak. So you can't have one without the other. Yeah. Can't have one without the other. Okay? So I guess because they would have you believe that because Dave Chappelle is sitting up there and he's telling jokes and he cracks a joke about their community, that the intended audience gets it. And I think this is big with them, that it's the intended audience versus the non-intended audience. That the intended audience is going to laugh, but the non-intended audience is the guy in the back, the burly drunk who says, yeah, man, he's right, man. Let's go kill a quote-unquote queen. Did Dave make him feel that way? Or did he already feel that?
I think you already felt that way. It's to me, you know what? To me, it's like when Trump was president, he was saying all this bullshit, all this racist shit, and all of a sudden we got the motherfuckers with the khakis and the TV torches coming out. The motherfuckers ain't just feel that way because Trump was president. They just felt like that was an opportunity to say, hey man, this dude feels like we feel, and let's go. So I think it was already in them. It was already in them, and they took his shit and said, hey man, listen.
So they've been wanting to storm the Capitol.
Facts. They just felt like this. Hey man, this president is backing us, and truth be told, it might have been some inside information. I don't want to talk about that. I ain't holding this shit. I can go hold it. But yes, to your point, I feel like motherfuckers who go out there and they do this and that to the LGBTQ plus community, they already felt that. They probably got shit to do with that. At the end of the day, when you a comic, some people want to find shit funny, some people not.
I think that's the nature of comedy.
I watched the show, right? And y'all watched the show. And I paid close attention to when they showed the audience. And there was some, when he cracked the white jokes, I seen a couple white people who was like this.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like, yeah, nigga, that. Hold on now. But that's cool, right? Because as a comic, I think you expect that everybody not gonna laugh at everything.
I don't think everything.
And that's cool, right? So for the LGBTQ plus community who didn't think that shit was funny, that's cool. But was he trying to harm y'all? I don't think so. My opinion, I don't think so.
I'm matter of fact, Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty confident that he wasn't trying to harm anybody. You know, you may not want to be the butt of the joke, but nobody really wants to be the butt of the
Who
joke
does,
all the
though?
time. But
Who wants to be the butt of the joke?
comedy. It's comedy. And I don't say that to give anybody a pass, to disrespect anybody, but you always got to look at the intent, man. And to pick out Dave Chappelle and say his intent is to harm you, that's kind of off base, man. Like, it's way more, it's worse individuals. Matter of fact, I don't even want to say it that way. You got bigger fish to fry than Dave Chappelle, meaning you no harm. To me, in my opinion, you got bigger fish to fry than Dave Chappelle. I think your own community, that LGBT powerful bazooka is aimed in the wrong direction. But that was like way off base. Way off base.
Check this out though. You know, we have friends, right? Shout out Rob.
Shout out Rob, the dude.
We have friends who are
Champagne, me, please.
who are part of the LGBTQ plus community, and we reached out to them, and they are going to sit with us, right? Because you know we want to understand and we
Diversity and inclusion.
Because again, we can't speak to that community, right? So we have friends who are part of that community, and we want to sit down and speak to them. And you're going to witness us speak to them. They're going to be part of this. And we're going to get their take on it. Because we couldn't get this completely wrong. Right? Opinion, everybody speaks our opinion is true. But our opinion is not the same way. So that's good. We could be completely off base. Let's take right on down.
Let's just say, and like, true, because at the end of the day, it's all about discussion and debate and being enlightened. And once you have new information, what do you do with that information? You process that new information, and what you take from it is you know, what you get from there.
Well, he said, here at Fire Nights, we don't discriminate, and we, you know, as I just mentioned, we have friends / family, Ra-Ra's family.
I got
We
family.
have family, and I have family who are part of that community, right? So, you know, I don't want to make it seem like we're picking sides and we're, you know, against this or that. Nah, we're all inclusive here at Fire Nights. So, you know, we're going to have, soon, we're going to sit down with some
Dialogue.
individuals and have dialogue, and we're going to get their take on it.
We'll have a tough conversation.
We'll let y'all know. We're going to have a tough conversation. Tough conversation.
Since we talk comedy,
Y'all know us.
Since we talk comedy,
Go ahead.
we talk. We had a discussion about this, man. I like discussion about comedy, man. In terms of, you know, the shift, you know, great comedy, because comedy is, you know, we all love comedy, man. Despite what's going on right now, we do love comedy. And with that being said, man, with Dave Chappelle coming out with his special, there was a lot of scuttlebutt about, you know, where his place is.
He says scuttlebutt.
In the pantheon of great comics. You know, white, black, brown, green, orange, red, male, female, Christian, Palestine, it doesn't matter. The pantheon of great, yeah. In the pantheon of great comics, you know.
Another SAT word.
Smart ass dude right here.
Listen, dig it. Smart. As far as comedy goes, man, Dave, what's the criteria, man? First, before we even say who's the greatest comic and this, that, and the other, what criteria matters to you? What matters to you when you're talking about a comic? When you talk about a comic, what matters to you?
To me, what matters is you have to have had a great stand-up bit at some point. You have to have had a show, you know, that show your brain.
Impact show.
So the
Impact
show or
An
movie?
impact show. And or movie.
I say the three.
Or and movie.
I think
I
that's
say
the
and or
three
and
in the
or.
monster. Yeah, I said that's three in the monster.
With that being said, I think, in my opinion, the greatest comedian is Richard Pryor.
Richard has all three.
Richard Pryor is
Richard has all three. He has classic movies,
incredible.
classic stand-up. He has a classic breakout TV show. He has all three. I'll definitely give Richard that. Richard is probably, I'm gonna say,
You got to throw Eddie in the pot.
yeah,
You got to throw Ed in the pot.
Ed's in there.
You got to throw Martin in the pot.
Martin's got all three.
To this day, bro, Martin is my favorite show ever. Chris Rock, absolutely. Got to throw
You
Chris in the pot.
figure with Bill, you know, in light of everything that's going on, the great Bill Cosby
Funny as a mom.
has great movies,
Funny as shit.
great stand-up,
And the
and
show-
probably the greatest family comedy sitcom ever.
Agreed.
I would take it a step further. We all, like I said, I'm with a certain amount of foolishness and bullshit. I'm just him. Bill Cosby was funny without ever having foolishness or bullshit.
No,
never-
He'll
he
give
don't
you
cuss.
he'll tell you you're giving Phil Florent fluff. I'm like, yo, when I actually thought about it, I'm like, damn, this guy is funny without cussing. I love somebody blue.
Yeah, that's insane.
I love somebody
This guy was literally PG. This guy was literally PG hilarious.
I love cussing. That nigga was
I can definitely say this. My core is pretty much written in stone on a Mount Rushmore.
Okay, go ahead.
Who's your
I
Mount
got-
Rushmore?
Who
Talk
it
about
is?
Rich,
Okay.
Eddie,
True.
Dave,
Okay.
give me Chris Rock over Mark. Give me Chris over Mark.
Okay, so my four, my
Mark
Mount
is
Rushmore is I'm gonna have to take Chris out. I love Chris, but I'm gonna have to take him out and put Mark,
You ain't got to argue. I ain't gonna argue down over that.
and that's my top.
And truth be told, Martin was number 5. Only thing is, Martin turned me off when I started hearing so much about how he treated people. Like, wow, you really treated people like Martin on Martin.
Him and everybody else.
we had a bid for Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker doesn't have classic TV.
Does he have a classic stand-up?
No, listen. Let me say this. I seen Chris Tucker in person at the Leeds Board in Philly. I was disappointed.
I saw him at the Tower Theater.
Him and Omar Epps. I was very disappointed.
Mike Epps?
I'm sorry, Mike Epps.
Gosh, that's one of my guys.
Shout out Omar Epps though. Apparently he's on mine for some reason.
He's
Yeah.
fucking
Listen,
John, the Raising
I
Cane's.
have I didn't think Mike Epps and Chris Tucker were funny in person. I didn't. I think they're more situational comics as far as TV shows, movies. My opinion, obviously, but I didn't find them funny in person. I didn't.
I'm gonna go with Ed, the great Ed Murphy, Mr. Buckwheat, Mr. Delirious, and probably some of the greatest comedic movies of our lifetime.
Shout out to the professor.
I'm gonna go with Bill Cosby, man, without a
Well, I'm
question.
sorry, I thought his name named Bill Cosby.
Oh, shit.
I said it was a slight
Oh, it's
inflection
Bill.
in my pronunciation.
Oh, okay,
I said
okay.
Phil Cosby.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was humor. That was humor. I didn't mean
I'm
that.
here till Tuesday. Thank you.
He's 0
I'm gonna go with Mark.
brother, good
I'm
brother.
gonna go with Mark on the strength of he has incredible stand-up, incredible, probably the greatest comedy show, top 2 or 3 ever.
I watch
And
it every day.
the
Like
movies
I never seen it.
literally speak for themselves.
Yeah.
That 3 is extremely strong, and I gotta go with Rich. Gotta go with Rich Pryor, man. Rich Pryor,
so many.
the Richard Pryor show, still hilarious. Still stir crazy,
To this day,
busting
Loose.
still Brewster's
I was
Millions,
ready to say even Bruce's Millions.
JoJo Dancer, your life is calling.
Oh,
Harlem Nights.
Oh.
damn it.
Oh.
Damn it, man.
To me, you gotta have all 3. You gotta have all. That's That's just my criteria. You gotta have had an impact on all three.
Rich is probably the greatest. Because if you're going to believe in something, why not believe in me?
I'm gonna go with Eddie as the greatest. I might go with Eddie as the greatest, only because of Eddie. What Eddie did in terms of comedy, Eddie took it to a superstar level.
Yeah.
In terms of rock star level, Eddie was the comedic rock star. You know what I'm saying? That Kevin Hart is right now.
That's real.
You know, Ed took it to the.
I said Red Fox.
Yeah, absolutely.
Red,
Absolutely.
I think Red unfortunately was just born at the wrong time. But Red's comedy, man, Red was funny as fuck, man. Like,
awesome.
yo,
Funny as a
Awesome,
motherfucker.
man.
and
as a
listen. Sanford and Son,
Classic. Funny as shit.
bro.
Shame.
Listen. Sanford and Son, man, was just classic. The way of that show, man, was just sometimes the shows carry more weight than them. You know what I mean? But he was also, and mind you, Red to me doesn't have many great classic movies, but the one movie, man, good lord, man, Harlem Nights role was crazy, man. Come on.
Shut the fuck up.
Crazy. Like, if there's any way to go out, man, that's the way you go out.
Bang,
You know what I mean?
Bang,
That's
bang.
the way you go out. Now, some up and comers, I'm gonna tell you, Chris could still get in that category, man. Chris got probably one of the greatest TV shows. He got 2 or 3 great stand-up shows.
Everybody hates me. Everybody hates
Can I
Chris.
say this?
Everybody hates Chris is crazy.
Julius is my idol. Julius Rock from Everybody Hates Chris is my idol.
His portrayal, his depiction of Julius, man, might be a lot of black fathers growing up.
These guys know me.
One or the other. One or the other.
These fucking
Either the
guys know
super
me.
present dad or the dad that just wasn't there at all.
Dog.
One or the other.
Yo, turn that damn light off. I mean, turn that clock off. You can't tell no time when you sleep. Yo, I love Julius's character. I always felt like that was me. I was like, yo, I mean, maybe not to that
I
extreme.
turned into Julius a bit.
But
Absolutely.
I was Julius. I
turned
championed
into
Julius. I championed
turned into
Julius.
Julius.
I ain't saying it's right, but I can say that was me.
So
I
check,
can show
check
me.
it.
That was Julius.
Let's spin it. Cat Williams, he funny as shit. Too,
Oh,
but
Cat Fun. Yo,
I don't know if I could put him in those categories because, like the good brother said, you gotta have. I don't think he has a
yeah,
TV show.
He don't have.
He's made appearances on my wife and kids and shit. He funny
Bobby
as shit.
Shaw.
Bro, funny
Bobby
as shit.
Shaw.
When he did the Falcons, that shit was funny as shit.
You know
that shit was
you
funny
know
as
what
shit.
really showed me Cat Williams is that shit? He actually won some type of Oscar or award for it when he played on one episode of ATL. Oh, Alligator, Florida Man.
Funny as shit.
Florida Man.
Hold on.
Florida
Wait.
Funny as shit.
Florida Man, look it up, y'all.
Hold on.
Look it up.
We are forgetting something pretty poignant,
Hold
though.
on a minute.
His voiceover as a good back.
Oh, I ain't wearing a t-shirt today. Oh, I ain't wearing my t-shirt. Why you know?
If you're a Boondocks fan,
Well-
you know that goddamn voice of that character.
Well, has it not? Smacking the beach worked? No, when you say it, you gotta say the whole name. A pimp named Slickback.
Classic. Classic.
I
Classic.
love the Boondocks. That was
Classic.
awesome.
Classic.
That was awesome. So I'm saying, yeah, Cat can be, he's honorable mention. He
I'm
just
gonna
don't
give
have
you another name. I'm gonna give you another name.
What's that?
I'm gonna give you another name.
What's that, good brother?
Jamie Foxx.
Hilarious.
Ooh, hold on.
Jamie Foxx.
Record scratch. That's a
Jamie
record
Foxx
scratch on that.
He might be the most talented person ever. And I say that
Most talented comedian ever?
real shit. Because he's funny. The nigga can sing his ass off. His albums are very underrated. I love his albums. Very underrated. He got the TV show. He got plenty stand-ups. Jamie Foxx is funny as shit. So absolutely, he's a great actor.
Africa.
Absolutely.
What y'all know about Africa?
Absolutely.
Look that up.
Absolutely.
Yo, that's a strong.
He close.
He's in that category, but there's a
Close.
gap. There's a big gap
Close.
between, you know, because he's not. Listen, the gravity of Eddie's movies and comedy shows, dog. We talk delirious and wrong, and then you talk about Coming to America, Harlem Nights. Come on, man. The gravity of the movies, the Beverly Hills Cops. Chappelle has two of the vital three. His movie category's lacking. He has a classic movie.
I love that big.
Now, but
Half Baked is real.
can we? Will we call it a cult classic, or is that over the top?
It's definitely a cult
Is that
classic.
mainstream funny movie?
No,
It's not
cult
no,
classic? Okay.
It's a stoner classic.
There's
It's a
people
stoner
who haven't
classic.
seen it.
Okay.
So it's a cult classic.
Not
It's a
mainstream.
cult classic.
Not
Yeah,
mainstream.
it's not mainstream.
Cult classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Now, as far
Killer
as TV
kill!
Now-
Killer kill!
Now, as far as TV shows, I mean, it's only what?
Killer, B.
It's only 2 or 3 TV shows that can even
I'm Tito Leibowitz.
talk with that.
Smart-time
Martin,
gun
what
runner
else?
and
Martin
amateur
and-
dog fight promoter.
Yeah, Martin might be the only TV show that might trump that.
Might be.
Yeah, might be the only TV show that might trump the Chappelle show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, even Eddie run on Saturday Night Live was, you know, him doing certain skits, but it wasn't the Eddie Murphy show. But he carried that.
I'll tell you like this.
He got ridiculously classic skits on Saturday Night Live.
I'll tell you like this. I thought the Dave Chappelle skit with Rick James was the funniest shit I
That's the
ever
greatest
seen
skit ever.
in my life.
That's great shit ever.
That's the greatest skit ever.
When I seen this shit, I said, did I just see the funniest shit I ever seen in my life?
Yeah.
Live?
Yeah.
That was the funniest shit I ever seen in
That's
my life.
what I thought when I heard it. The first
Now,
time.
that weighs a lot. Like, yo, I actually see live the funniest shit I think I ever seen in my life. Me and my wife laughed for 3 days damn straight. You know what I'm saying? We went out and bought the bootleg, and we went out and bought the real motherfucking DVDs when it came out. Just because of what the 5 figure say to the face.
So let me ask you
Smack it up.
Let me
Yo! Fuck your couch, nigga. Fuck your
Let me throw
couch.
some names out there. Let me throw some
the
names out there.
funniest shit ever.
And not only, I'm just gonna throw a name out there because the name itself holds a lot of weight. The Wayans family.
Can't bypass them.
You know, yeah, we got to.
Can't bypass
Big.
them.
The
whole family.
Yeah, the whole family.
And I especially want to highlight Damon Wayans.
Ooh, he funny as shit.
That's a funny
He
motherfucker.
funny as shit.
Let the record reflect. I was fortunate enough to be around some people who had HBO back in
Are
the
we
days.
overlooking him?
Shit, HBO.
And,
Are we overlooking David?
I think so.
and they used to have the Robert Townsend showcase or specials or whatever. Oh my God, Damon Wayans is one of the funniest motherfuckers I had ever seen.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like Major Payne wasn't fucking
What?
dumb, dumb funny.
Oh!
Hilarious.
Dumb
I
funny.
just watched it over the weekend, yo. It's one of my wife's favorite movies, Major Payne. She got me loving Major Payne.
Yeah.
Now mind you,
Yo.
this is a comedy about an individual with a speech impediment.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hilarious.
comedy.
Shout out Ornez J. Shout out Patrice O'Neal.
Ooh,
Shout out Bernie Mac. Shout out Robert Harris.
Now, let me stop right there on Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac to me is a person that was just funny. So I weigh that a lot. Like, he can come in here right now and have us dying. And there won't be shit that we done heard anywhere. He's just a funny dude. Some of them a bitch and all of
Money,
that.
more
So let me
money.
throw another name out there before we end this song.
Yeah,
Let me throw another name out there. Said he said.
Ooh, that'd be funny shit.
Said he
Said he
it's
said.
funny.
Said he said.
Shit.
Said he said. Might have all three.
Steve Harvey funny too, bro.
Steve Harvey funny too. Yeah.
Steve Harvey funny as a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
But does
D.L. Hughley.
But
D.L.
D.L.
Hughley's
Hughley's
hilarious.
funny.
does Steve Harvey have
He don't have
a
a movie.
hilarious movie?
No. But
Nah,
he
he
got
don't.
the comedy show. He got the stand up.
But-
He don't got the movie.
But say he does.
And said it was funny, but I don't know if he ain't got his own shit. You know what I'm saying?
Give me some funny sad movies in the comments, man. Maybe I'm overlooking them, man. But yeah, we wanted to just end it off
Says
man,
a
with,
funny-
with the comedy, man.
says
Some
a
great
funny
comics
dude,
out there,
man.
man. Don't let don't let what's going on right now, man, ruin your take on comedy, man. Comedy is still what it is, man. It's still the anti-life escape. You know, when shit's going rough,
therapeutic,
man.
man.
You know, you can just laugh.
therapeutic.
And you laugh at what's funny. Don't laugh at what's not. Turn it off if you don't like it. It's just that simple, man.
Right.
Turn it off if you don't like it.
I would also like to say this, man. I want to say all of us caught a lot of these comedians at Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying? So, and I can remember Dave Chappelle's, man, Chris Tucker. I can remember so many people's
Shout out Bill
stand up
Bellamy.
on there. Shout out Bill Bellamy. Oh, booty call.
Where's the booty?
Booty call. You know.
How to be a player?
He's a funny ass dude. If you look
Doesn't
up
have
Bill
a TV
Bellamy,
show, though.
if you look up Bill Bellamy and thank me later. Look up Bill Bellamy and he's telling a story about Shabba-Doo.
Tells a lot of
Oh
funny
my
stories, though.
God! It's
You got a lot of hilarious stories right now. Yeah, he one of them guys
Bill
that
Bellamy,
seems to have been in a
Bill-
lot of
Bill-
places at the right time. He got a lot of
Yeah.
funny stories.
So
Very funny.
So all right, so dig this. Dig this. Let me change the temperature a little bit. I'm gonna give y'all 2 words again. Y'all do what y'all want with these 2 words. Give me a sound effect, something. Give me something.
Got you. I got you.
Give me something.
I think I know where you're going now.
Got you.
I think I know
Got
where
you.
you're going.
Got you.
Give me something,
I
bro.
got you. I got you. I'm a
Yeah,
sound
them two
trumpet.
words. Them
Sound
two
trumpet.
words.
I'm a sound trumpet.
They taste like shit in the motherfuckers' mouth these days. Speak on it, bro.
Extend it. Extend it.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. John Gruden.
Hello. How are y'all?
Speak on it, folks.
Hey, man. Shit, do I gotta put my glasses on or off for
Put your
this?
lopes on. Put your lopes on.
You dig this here, man. We going
your lopes on so you can see
going
what
out
I'm
west
saying.
on this. We going out west on this one.
John motherfucking Gruden.
Yeah, please let the record reflect the motherfucker. Jonathan.
Jonathan.
I don't know what the fuck you thought you was gonna get away with these emails.
Nigga.
Yeah, a paper trail is a paper trail.
Nigga.
And you said what the fuck you said, and I don't know why the fuck you think people ain't supposed to believe what the fuck you said.
Nigga.
It's been a long time since someone in one setting disrespected every demographic except the one you're in. Nigga. So John Gruden's motherfucking name in my motherfucking Jonathan Gruden's name in my mouth tastes like shit right now. I can go on, but let the guys get on. Yeah, it tastes like poop with corn in it right now. Yeah,
This shit
shitty
ain't
corn.
over.
Shitty
This
corn,
thing,
bro.
Jonathan.
Listen, this thing ain't
Shout out
over.
horse.
And when I say it's not over, this thing is pretty far-reaching. There's gonna be a lot of people caught up in these emails, and in the coming weeks, it's gonna be a lot of people, bro. So stay tuned, because John Gruden ain't the only one.
Nigga.
He ain't the only one.
But for now, don't go listen to
You know what's crazy? served in Florida. He said he's got used car salesman in him. That's Keyshawn's words. I like to use the phrase, he's a snake oil salesman. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck buys snake oil? You get what I'm saying?
He's gonna sell it to you.
Yeah, sell it to you.
He's going back to Cali.
So how the fuck? Not only can you get away with this for so long, but just like the good brother said, I don't know if y'all know, but there has been either 600,000 emails or 600,000 pages of emails. Hey man, this is just the first domino. This is just the first domino of the John Gruden thing. Cause no, let the record reflect. His shit was so bad, he wasn't even the focus of the investigation.
That's my point. Go ahead.
Who's investigating, sir?
They was investigating the Washington football team for their improprieties and shit that was going on. And it had, you know, their vice president or general manager, whatever you want to call it, Bruce Allen was with the shits. I'm with the shits. So one of the people that's with the shits was John Gruden. Let the record reflect. His brother was coaching Washington at the time. So you can just see how cool they may have been. I've seen pictures with him wearing Washington football gear at the practices and all of that. So with that being said, I'm like, well, who else is going to be involved in this bullshit here?
How far the emails go back, sir?
It's a paper trail, and out of 600,000 pieces of paper, I may be assuming some shit, and I may be naive, but you're not going to tell me that there is not more significant people and names inside of those emails.
How far they go back?
This is insider stuff. Right. What we talking about? This is
Can I get a Corona, good brother?
supposedly private. Now, as far as how far it go back, I don't know. But my guesstimation is it's a lot of names. That's
7 years.
7 years. Wow.
2011.
Imagine
10
how many
years.
emails. That's a lot of emails, bro.
Yo, the funny thing is, man, I don't know how people can stick up for this guy. I
I know. I see. I know
That's
how.
what they do.
You know.
That's what they do, bro. They stick up. They stick up for them.
I know exactly how.
That's piggybacking to
Seven
our
to 10
first
years.
segments.
How long back do they go?
7 to 10 years. Yes, sir, Cousin Reg.
And I would also state the fact that they wouldn't have stopped unless he was actually hired as the coach.
Hold on. So let me point this out though. Let me point this out, which kind of slipped through the radar. Remember that some of the emails came out prior to the game, right? On Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm. Speak on
Did
it.
anybody notice that? I hate to go back to this, man.
Go back to that.
Go ahead, speak on it. All ties together.
There was a trigger word in one of the emails that really kind of like, okay, the F word. Now, he called the man a Michelin tire mouth. That was cool. You're still coach. That was no repercussions. You
Call
still
him
coach.
dumb boars.
That was cool.
But
Dumb boars.
When did it get real?
trigger word.
What's
The
that?
trigger word.
What's that? He said,
Dig it, man.
it got real when he said, Goodell should have never forced Jeff Fisher to draft that faggot.
Once that got public, now once that became public, oh, now you gotta go. The Michigan tire mouth was okay. I mean, that wasn't egregious. That's horrible, but
He apologized and
on the pussy, that was.
On that point, let me speak on that point. Let me speak on that point real fast, y'all. I don't think y'all. Let me put y'all on to something. If y'all can remember recent history, and I'm talking about last Friday, the emails about Dino Reese Swift dropped Friday. And for some reason, that wasn't enough for the NFL. I'll get to the NFL, but it wasn't enough for the Raiders. It wasn't enough for Mark Davis. It quite frankly wasn't enough for anybody to say, oh, this man needs to go. Even though his statements were horrible, abhorrent, egregious, very damaging. No. And they let that bomb
was like
and it
this,
was
bro.
only towards D. Marie Smith, and that was Friday.
The black
He was
man.
letting
The black
Gruden
man.
was letting them. Gruden was slicing and dicing.
Let the record reflect. I saw his press conference after his game on Sunday night. Let the record reflect. He, not anyone else, alluded to there may be some other things in these emails that he was maybe trying to get out in front of him. So he even knew, oh man, there's much more shit in there than that. So I want to ask the people out there if y'all still disagree with how we're being treated. Because for some reason when you drop the bombshells about the black man, oh, we can apologize and move forward, but let's just move forward and play football.
We've been treated as opposed to
women. Oh no, we don't. I don't feel there's a need for women refs.
Yeah.
The LGBTQ plus community. Oh man, I want to say exactly what he said.
There were comments about cheerleaders.
Yeah, hold
There
on.
were
Let me
emails and
stop
photos
there.
exchange.
They were emailing back and forth.
These are friends.
They were emailing back and forth. I want to say semi-nude pictures of cheerleaders who were forced to take those pictures. That's horrible. Horrible. They were forced to take these pictures with their tops off.
That horrible, I guess.
I mean,
Until
it wasn't that bad.
you hit that hot button.
What was the line though?
What's the line?
What was the line?
Obviously, the black man wasn't the line. The man coached and lost and everything.
What was the line, John?
And you can actually, if you see in the game, you can actually see a lot of people might say, yeah, okay, well, coach, we were past that. But it didn't tell them their actions. They did not give a fuck about it.
When did they give a fuck?
Right? They're like, nah, we might publicly, we might say the same thing, but around here, we wasn't feeling what was said Friday. And we ain't feeling you still being here on Sunday, and their actions and their play reflected such. And then after the game, he said some stuff like, oh, it's more stuff? The thing is, and this is what I've heard from some sources, the NFL dropped D. Maurice on Friday thinking that would be enough for the Raiders to say, oh, you're out of here. Let the record reflect. The NFL dropped this information on Friday thinking it was enough. Which we all think, okay, that's enough to get that man fired on Friday afternoon. But in reality, it was not enough. It was not enough until the NFL said, oh, gonna let him rock? Check this one out. And then you hear about him talking about Roger Goodell. Then you hear him talking about the cheerleaders. Then you hear him talking about the female refs. Then you hear him talking about the gays. Oh, I got fired from that.
Well, wait a minute. Let's make sure we understand correctly. I will allow you to resign.
How about that?
All right.
How about that?
Let the record reflect.
That part.
Let the record reflect how cool and close Mark Davis and John Gruden is. Because I would assume if their relationship like it was, if their relationship like it, if it wasn't like it is, he would not have even been extended an olive branch to resign from his position. Only because the Davis family has been fooling with John Gruden for years. They've groomed the man since the 90s. Let the record reflect. He was their coach in the 90s and 2000s. And then he moved on to Tampa Bay. And then, from the words of the man himself, Mark Davis, the owner of the Davis, he said this was a 7-year dance. This was a 7-year dance to get my good friend back to coach. I don't know about his money. I don't really give a fuck about his money. The thing I was trying to say is, he wouldn't have been extended the option to resign if he played for 31 other teams. It had just been fired. And he may have been fired on that Friday if he was coaching the Tennessee Titans, per se. Okay, well, we don't have that great of a personal relationship. Al Davis, Mark Davis, and John Gruden they were a triangle. And Mark Davis wasn't the owner at the time when he first came in. So that's my friend. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's my friend. Now, he had to do what he had to do yesterday, but I would assume if they weren't friendly, he would have been fired on Friday if it wasn't Mark Davis.
True.
Man, move.
True. True. So
let's get in the car, man. Let's move on, man. Let's move on, man.
Don't crash, baby.
The what do you call it? Brooklyn Nets have established that Kyrie Irving will not practice with the team.
See that light, bro.
He won't do nothing with the team because
You ain't getting
per the rules of New York, you cannot enter a gym unless you've had at least one COVID shot. So, Coach P's homie, Kyrie Irving,
Uncle Drew.
Uncle Drew, will not play, practice, do anything with the team until, if and when he decides to get at least one COVID shot. I want to know what Coach P has to say about that. 'Cause that's his man. I'm listening.
Coach.
I'm listening, sir.
Coach. Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Coach.
Hello, how are you?
Coach. Hello, line 2.
Perfect song. Shut him down. They shut Kyrie down.
Well, since we can't find the coach right now,
Yeah, he let sleep.
since we can't find coach right now, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm glad that the Nets said, well, you know what, man, we're not gonna allow you to play with us. We're not gonna allow you to dictate to us what you're going to do when we pay the big bucks to you.
Right.
I'm glad they put their foot down and said, man, them's is the rules. Whatever the rules is, they the rules. I don't know. When you get to a position to make rules and enforce them,
Kyrie.
I'll respect them as well.
Kyrie.
So, but what I am saying, I do not understand. I didn't understand why he was thinking he was going to play half the games, or not even half the games, because some of them are in New York. So,
Okay, Cali.
right, and in Cali. So you had like 30. You were going to play like 30 games. Like, we don't need you for Memphis. You understand? We don't need you for Detroit. We don't need you for Toronto. We need you against the Sixers. We need you against the Lakers. We need you against the Bucks. Those type of things. And you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm off over here and the earth is flat and, okay, cool. You stay over there until you figure it out.
We'll get back to that, Earth.
You figure it out. But I'm saying I won't allow you
He did say
to.
that. He did say that.
I won't allow you to say what you gonna do and what you ain't gonna do.
He did
When
say
everybody else around here is 10 toes down
He
from
said it
Brooklyn
was, he
Nets.
said the Earth was flat. He did say that.
He's a flat earther, folks.
All right, so listen. Coach P ain't got no words about his
One
man.
of the first times.
About his mans. So we're gonna move on to somebody else. Word has it that Ben Simmons was in Philly.
Oh, man, stop your clapping, man. Stop the goddamn clapping.
Word has it that Ben Simmons made an appearance in Philly. Sam?
Man, look here, man. I've been a Sixers fan since June the 7th. I've been a Sixers fan. I love the fans because I will love you if you were my team even if I don't like you. Comment one. This motherfucker Benjamin Simmons. What the fuck is he doing? Why the fuck does he think that? His shit don't stink. This, I don't know. There's an actual game going on in Philadelphia. This motherfucker is knocking on the door in Camden. Like, yo, can you let me in? I'm trying to get my shot. Nigga, do you know it's a goddamn game going on? Do you know what the things that you're responsible for? Look the fuck in the mirror, dog. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I said it.
Tell him why you mad, son.
Nah, because for some reason, the only motherfucker in basketball history that will not shoot the ball thinks it's not his motherfucking problem that the Sixers can't get out of the second motherfucking round.
He won't shoot.
I have no clue. I don't even understand how, if you looking at the game, like, oh yeah, he's self-check.
He won't shoot.
He won't shoot.
Yo, we ain't got don't stick him. Don't stick him. Don't stick him. Don't stick him. Don't stick him.
That works against Sacramento, but they ain't in the playoffs.
Double team and B. Don't stick him.
Oh, he's got all-world D. Oh, really? Trae Young had averaged 29 and 10 against the Sixers in their series. Why the hell couldn't he stop him?
Check this out. When I said Ben Simmons, there was a round of applause in here.
Man,
Who was clapping?
who the fuck was that clapping for Benjamin?
Who was clapping for Benjamin Button Simmons?
Man, contingents that.
Oh man, this guy, he don't want to be a brother no
You
more,
want him
man.
to be back? You glad he back?
I am glad he's back.
Why you
Come a little closer, man, so the people can hear this fucking nonsense you speaking,
Spit
man.
this nonsense, bro. We got D Jones in the building, folks. Talk that shit.
Why the hell you want him back, man? Why the hell you want him back?
Talk that
Why
shit.
you want him back, man?
I'm glad he's back because the Sixers are better with him.
You sound like Joel Embiid. What's your real reason? That's Joel Embiid's words, nigga. That's Joel Embiid's words. What's your words, man?
Because they are.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Even with his miscomings, even with his shortcomings, he don't shoot all that. Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay.
Okay, hold. Okay.
They still better with him than without him.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I
shit.
would
Is
say
it
this.
what is it? And?
And I would say this. I would say
Okay,
this.
good, sir.
A lot of what he was doing, as far as holding out, and I'm not coming, and I'm not never playing for Jordan, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and then I just show up with the blue.
Right.
Rich Paul.
Oh,
It wasn't because his feelings were hurt. Because he even said the fans they be going
Rich
me.
Paul.
He was crying and shit.
Rich Paul.
good brother. Good brother. I watched the game like you watched the game.
I saw that shit.
But clearly we see two different
He had a
things
bad
on the
series.
court.
He had a bad series.
Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
That was in the second round, am I right?
Yeah, that was. Is he right, sir?
That was the second round.
Second round?
He had a bad series in the second round.
Right.
Because this is going to become a recurring theme.
Right. It probably will.
Second round.
Second round.
Now, this year, they played the Atlanta Hawks. They were the prohibitive favorites. And if everybody who was looking at it was like, damn, if we got just a little bit more out of the bench. Fuck the bench, because if you count on the bench, like, damn, dog, why are you counting on the bench? You feel what I'm saying? Oh, man, Tobias Harris. All right, cool, no problem. Now, here's the thing. With all that being said, as bad as Tobias played, as terrible as the bench played, who's held to more responsibility for easier shit?
Point guard.
Point guard. And let me say this to you.
Quarterback.
Second round. In the second round, you usually start playing teams that's pretty damn good. Am I right? Second round this year, we got kicked out. Last year, second round, we got kicked out.
Oh shit.
The year before that, we got kicked out. Now, let me before you ask your question, I might answer. When you get to the second round, it's only 8 teams left. Those teams are pretty good. This ain't the 24. This ain't these bum motherfuckers. So those are usually the teams that can take advantage of a bullshit motherfucker who won't shoot. Notice it's the second round. Am I right?
Second round.
Oh, that makes us better. Regular season. Regular season. And maybe even first round. The second round is exactly the round when people start turning you then. They start splitting then. And that's the round they always fucking use you. So, I want to ask you this. Did you see when they took the ball out of his hands against Toronto in the second round? And did you see...
Saw that?
Did you see when he was bullshitting and fucked up, and they didn't have nobody to put the ball hands in when he played in the bubble against Boston?
Saw that?
Okay, so that's 2. And this year, you saw that. So that's 3 times Ben Simmons. Nobody else
Benjamin.
has been targeted, and the other team has been successful in their target because they go on and we don't.
It's not going to change.
Do you still say, oh yeah, he's good?
You got to do it.
Knowing,
And let me ask you this. What game, the horrible game we had, what game was that?
all
matter.
what you
What
mean?
game was that?
Games that matter.
1, 2,
Oh,
3,
oh, game
4,
seven.
5,
Let me-
and
No,
7.
listen, game 7.
No, he had terrible games. All.
Here's my point.
Okay.
Game 7, here's my point.
Okay.
How many times in the second round in that series were they up double digits? And what I mean by double digits,
We know it double
20
digits.
plus.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So,
Double though.
so men lost all those leads and lost them games because here's the thing: if they would have held on to them leads and closed them games out, guess what they wouldn't have been in?
What's that?
A game 7
Dog
in
pound.
the second round.
But you, even though I disagree with you,
Right.
let me say
How can you
this.
disagree?
You saying this year.
So Ben on the court by himself.
You totally disregard the other 2 years. The same shit happened. You feel me? Like, oh, this year,
What about
against Boston and Toronto?
Ben
Sum it up by saying that.
He's a repeat offender.
He's a repeater. He's a repeater. Nobody else on the Sixers is a repeat offender but him.
So this is
Sum it up
modus
by saying-
operandi.
That's his modus operandi.
I think what he's saying.
When he gets to the second round, we can exploit that dude.
Yeah, that you exploit that no matter how much you up or down, and the result seems to be the same.
Yeah.
What was the result again?
Hey,
Exit. An exit.
this is
An
what I'm
early
saying.
exit.
They even resorted to
I don't-
Hacker
I-
Benjamin.
Let me-
Hold on, dog pound. They resorted to Hacker Benjamin, and it worked.
That's what teams do.
So you turn around and say, "Oh no, we can use that." Oh really? When somebody says no, fouling you and putting you on the line is better than us giving you a fucking
I
shot.
get it.
Well, they have to go to the
No, you don't get
I get it, but
No,
look,
you
but-
don't, because you said no.
But here's my thing.
No, you.
Let him go to the rack because he's
Now here's my thing. Right? You got Doc Rivers on the
Coach.
sideline.
Okay.
He's not a rookie coach. He's not new to this. He's been here before.
Okay.
Right? You got Tobias Harris. You got Embiid.
Okay.
You got Seth Curry.
Okay.
You got all these dudes that been in the playoffs.
Who's the 3-time All-Star?
You know, okay. You
No. Who's the 3-time All-Star?
Here's the thing.
You named everybody who wasn't on All-Star
But here's
teams,
the thing.
but you failed to realize, you failed to recognize Benny.
But here's my point. With all that experience, you know what I mean? You up multiple games in this series, 20+ points, and find a way to lose. Is that all?
No, I don't find a way to
Okay,
lose.
you just named several people who don't have that experience.
Hold on, first. Yeah, I don't really think you find a way to lose. There seems to be a clear path at how to beat them.
Okay, but you
Yes.
can't tell me.
That's
but
not
you can't-
finding a way to lose.
But you can't tell
Finding
me that-
ways to lose is losing different ways.
But you
know
can't
what I
tell
mean?
me that, okay, you up double digits in all these games, and then they like, all right, well, our best way back to beat this team is we just gonna leave Ben and double team
I
everybody
ain't
else.
telling you that. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened.
When you on the playground, every team, I mean, I know you try to stack your little team or whatever, but more times than not, you always got one dude on your squad that ain't, you know, I mean, he play a little bit, but he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't that dude. Here's the thing.
But allegedly he's that dude though.
Okay.
Supposedly.
You keep overlooking that he is that guy.
He's the guy. He's that guy.
You keep assuming or keep putting potential on him. None of that. What it showed you, he is who he is. Why is that enough to win a chip? We won a championship not to get out of the second round.
I'm not accusing how I play in the series. I'm not accusing.
But you are.
I'm not accusing the point that that was the turning point in that game. I'm not saying that turning point in that game. My whole point is, my point for the turning point is the Sixers as a team, not Ben. The Ben out there and say, well, fine. If the Sixers as a team, they closed out some of them games and they got double digits, they may not have got to a
Ain't you a Sixers team?
where he needed
He is
to.
on the team.
Ain't his job to help close this shit out? Come on, man, what are you talking about? And like I said, you put more onus on the bench for losing the
On everybody. On the whole squad.
But here's the thing, they ain't 3-time All-Star starters, are they? Or starter. So you say, oh no, the bench also outplayed Benjamin, who's a 3-time All-Star, starts.
Okay.
That's what you're saying. Like, no, I'm putting it on Tobias, who's never been an All-Star.
All right, let's move it on. Man. Let's get a little quick NFL recap. Weekend recap.
My man, that's my brother Dad, man. That's my brother Dad. That's my motherfucking brother Dad.
Like this, let's get a little NFL recap, man. What we like to do, man. Studs and duds in the weekend, man. Anybody want to start this off, man? I can start it off, but if you want to start it off, you can go, man.
No, you know what? I started off with a quick one. Last night, God, I can put it to you like this. I actually went to sleep at halftime. What the fuck did I do that for? Because one of my studs of the week, Lamar fucking Jackson.
Action Jackson.
Woo!
Action guy.
I had to add him on. He was not on the original list until I saw the shit this month. I said, God damn.
That was a great game.
Now,
He put
now,
the
first,
shit on.
let me add something. Let me add something onto that. And we need to stop categorizing this guy as a scrambling quarterback, because what I saw in the film, those last 2 to 3 touchdowns, that man went through his progressions until he found the open man.
Yeah.
Give it up for that.
To piggyback on your point, they said 44 of his 45 throws last night was from the pop. And if I ain't mistaken, he only had 6 incompletions?
Yeah, I saw that. He's
Stud! Fucking stud.
He's a stud.
And all them people talk about he just a runner, throw on the table last night, man, because that motherfucker Mark Evans killed my goddamn fantasy team. Proceed.
He was a stud, man.
You got another stud, bro? You got another stud?
I do have another stud. And he's probably been a stud. He's probably been a stud of mine all year because he's actually keeping the running back and running alive. Derrick Henry. Derrick fucking Henry. He leads the league in rushing yards by a country mile. By a country mile. And the funny thing is, they just like, well, just keep giving it to him. Like that used to be the exactly. That used to be the mantra of running backs. Just keep giving it to him. And this guy just keeps going. I get you 120 yards, 2-3 touchdowns. Who the fuck is still doing that in today's age? Derrick Henry is real. My dad likes to call him the raccoon. He's like, oh man, there go the raccoon. You know, because he had the dreads all tied up in the back and like a tail. But that goddamn Derrick Henry, man, the way he's a fucking battering ram, stud.
He real.
You got a stud, bro. You got some studs.
Trayvon Diggs. Notice it's not a repeat. I know I said the same last week. It's not
I
recorded.
say Diggs last week.
This is live. Trayvon Diggs. Dak Prescott.
He's ball pro. He's ball hard.
Stop, drop,
Trade Dak.
shut him down, open up shop.
Them niggas is real. Lamar, obviously. That goes without saying. Lamar's the real deal. Who else did I watch this? You know what? What's the nigga? What's your quarterback name? You know what? I'm not going. I was going to, but I don't like it.
Who?
I was going to, but I was going to, but I don't like his attitude, man. So fuck that shit.
He's not a stud this week, just on that.
Just saying, I like attitude. So I'm gonna give a dud.
Oh, we gonna get to the dub.
Okay. I don't got no more studs. Fuck Jay.
I got a couple studs, man. A couple standout performances,
I
man.
got another stud to the back.
Give me another stud.
Last year the man was a rookie. Now, what I don't see these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Because he got his job in different type of weeks. I was actually playing for Time I Tell. But with Time I Tell, I had a few games, took him off and needed to his actual offer and punch it. They had to put in the one Justin fucking Herbert. Hey, yo. He's the real deal, y'all. And
he gave me 65 finishes.
yo, he put the beans on the Browns this weekend, and really, I'm a skeptic by nature, but I'm like, man, this guy, all he keep doing is showing the fuck up and showing out.
That's it.
And last week they would have put up what 47 in a barn burner, where it was like, look, I gotta keep scoring. The other team wasn't even passing like that. It was like run. Like, god damn, I gotta pass the ball to keep up with these dudes running. But Justin Herbert has been doing this shit all year,
Yeah, man.
and he was doing this shit last year, hence being a rookie of the year. I thought it might have been Justin Jefferson, but you ain't got to argue me down if you gave it to Justin Herbert. But he has shown and proven, oh no, last year was not a fucking fluke. And Sunday, he put the beans on the Browns, man. Justin Herbert is a motherfucking stud.
I'm gonna go, got a couple studs, man. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen, man. Buffalo Bills quarterback. Big
How
stud.
about that?
Big Sunday
Speak
night
on it.
performance, man. Just all around, man. I mean, the performance speaks for itself, man. This guy has, taken the next step into that upper level of quarterbacks in terms of now this performance is expected out of you. It's weird when you don't do this. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give Josh Allen, man, big stud, man, big stud. I'm gonna give a guy a stud, man, who's probably had many of these, man. But god damn, what he did last week, he's never even fucking did. Fucking Tom Brady. Woo!
Tommy.
Like what the man? Man? Do he got Greg Anderson in his locker room on speed dial? Cause he definitely on deer antler or something, man. He got that Balco, man. He got that Balco, man. I'm not sure what's going on there, man. But this dude has over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Man. How, bro? How?
Film study.
How? How?
That's all I can say is film study.
Man, he's always film study. Man, he's playing better than he's playing better now than when he had his record setting season. How?
Who they play Thursday?
Oh, the Eagles?
Oh shit, they play the Eagles. Oh, I ain't know. That's
Good luck with that.
So listen, I got one more stud, man. I got one more stud, and then we gonna go to the duds, man. I gotta give one of those little nuggets, one of those little gems, man. That probably get when I noticed the young boy from the Giants, man, Darius Toney.
oh, real.
Breakout game. I said in the beginning of the season, man, that the Giants got a gem with this kid, man. Woo, that nigga quick.
Yeah, he real.
Bull caught what? 11, 12 balls, man, for like 160 some yards, man. Big impact. Big impact. Let's dovetail into the dubs.
Wait, did they win?
So let's dovetail into the dubs.
I don't remember.
Let's dovetail into the dubs.
Did the Giants win?
We're moving on to
I can't remember.
No, I'm not sure they won.
Okay,
I'm not sure they
yeah,
won.
probably.
On to Cleveland.
So let's dovetail into the duds because I'm gonna give that same gentleman a dud. Why the fuck are you balling your fists up to punch somebody in the helmet?
That's pretty stupid.
What the fuck was on your mind, son, after that performance?
Pretty stupid.
What the fuck was And not only that, you get ejected. You didn't even hide it. You walked up on the pile after the fight had been broken up, the refs in the pile, and decided to say, all right, I'm gonna take my shot on a nigga with a helmet.
You know what happens when you get ejected, right? You don't play the next game either, so.
Now,
Oh well.
Now, it wouldn't surprise me if
That's
this might derail. He takes the dub because I mean you want to come off of a performance like that, man. You want to go right into the next game. He may not get that opportunity. So I gave you a stud, but you went out like a dud, man, with that one. That was just some nut shit.
Hey, yo, you know who one of my duds is, man? Because a lot of people been high on them, and they just did nothing but falter again with their backup. San Francisco 49ers. I've been thinking they've been less than all year long. I'm like, the victory they got against the Eagles, I'm like, that ain't much, man. But so many people hold them high, and I'm like, what am I seeing that they don't see? Or what are they seeing that I don't see? I'm like, this ain't the same defense that went to the championship. This ain't anything. But really, I mean, I want to get into the whole 49ers team because I always thought like this. You got running back coaches, defensive line coaches, D-back coaches, special team coaches, all that kind of stuff. You got a quarterback coach. Why the hell are all the backup quarterbacks never ready to play? Never ready to play. And Trey Lance had a whole week to get ready. A whole week to get ready. And he looked just like a rookie.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you a surprise, dud. This might throw a lot of people off, man.
Okay.
This is a surprise, dud. Saquon Barkley.
Oh, he's no surprise.
He's starting to, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't
Niggas
surprised.
poop, man.
You kind of almost thinking at this point, kind of like, well, damn, can you stay healthy, son?
Glass Joe.
Can you stay healthy, man? Can you stay healthy, or is this just you?
Did you see his ankle?
That's just ours. Somebody stuck a softball in his underneath his skin. That was crazy.
I got two more duds, man. I'm done. I got two more duds. Sam Darnold, man. I gave you stud last week, and you fucking really look like an idiot, man. 3 interceptions and a home loss, man. A home loss?
To the Pigeons, though.
Why, bro? What are you doing, man? Sam, come on, man. You made me look like an idiot, man. Like,
Pigeons, bro.
and my last stud, man, is, of course, man, my very own football team defense, man. It gets worse. It gets worse. They've given, this is the 3rd time this season, in a sure 5-game season where they've given up 30-plus points. This is the 3rd time they've given up 4 touchdown passes to a quarterback. They're averaging a league worst 33 points against. The fuck? Go ahead, freshman.
Oh, shit.
My dud, well, one of my duds is,
That was my dud.
hey, yo, man,
Pathetic home
They
loss.
doing it up.
That was-
They
man, that
good.
was-
Not they up and down, man.
yeah, I mean, not just the way you played, the way you handled the whole email John Gruden thing. You know what I'm saying? You get a dud for that, man.
Yeah, that's a doubly good.
That's it, man. That's the biggest dud I ever gave out.
They laid an ostrich egg.
Ostrich, man. That's like a Tyrannosaurus
To a
Rex
quarterback.
egg. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, dog, yes. Who I thought wasn't playing the best, but I gave him props. I said, yo, he fought to a win. He took a lot of shots. Justin Fields took shots. He was running, taking shots. He was in the pocket taking shots. He was missing people. He just kept fighting. And I was like, okay, if they pull this out, I got to give this man his props. And he pulled it out. So now I'm looking at the Raiders like, the fuck is y'all doing? Not just on the field, but off the field. Because the off the field stuff will probably carry longer than the on the field terrible play that you had. Like, yo, your whole weekend in the trash can.
Oh shit.
And if
The
your
entire
whole
weekend.
your whole weekend is in the trash can, man. Milk does, man. Las Vegas Raiders.
You got duds, bro. You got duds.
I just got Sam Darnold, man. Like he put on a show against us. I mean, in the losing effort, but he put on a show against us, and I was like, yeah, he's good. And I always thought he was pretty good, for real. Damn, he threw a lot of interceptions. He threw what? 3 interceptions.
3 interceptions and a home loss. 3 interceptions. I got another dud.
He's my dud.
Yo, can somebody put the Jets in the SEC?
Oh shit.
I was up early that morning. I was up. Oh shit, football for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Over in London. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, they was up. They was up. And then I just started seeing turnover, fumble, turnover. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Jets. Let me turn to something else.
They did what Jets do.
The Jets was jetting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Jets was jetting, man. Like, but what I'm gonna say is, man, why they the dud? I'm like, I didn't expect nothing else from the Jets, but they got new quarterback, new coach, same old phonies, perpetuating the culture for the time down. So I'm like, they're gonna be looking for another quarterback. Probably not next year, but in a couple of years, you get another quarterback. It's probably gonna be his fault because the whole fucking organization is inept. The Jets, fucking super duds.
With that being said, man, another strong night, man. Another strong night, man, for Fine Ice Cream.
Well, hold on, before we end, I want to talk about the game of the week. High school.
Oh shit, my
Hello.
bad. Oh yeah,
Hello.
How about
High
that?
school game of the week. We were at Middletown High. And we saw them play against St. Joe's. Shout out to Axman Trotter. Shout out to
Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison on the coaching staff. First, let me say I wasn't impressed by St. Joe's. I really wasn't impressed by them.
They ranked number 22 in the nation. I was
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't impressed.
that might not be a fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But they put a nice smackdown on Middletown High. And I'm going to say this. What's the quarterback name for Middletown High? He's going to
Braden
Smith.
Smith.
He has a scholarship to
An offer
to Carolina, South Carolina. No. And with all the respect, I know he's a kid, he's not good. And I say that with all my chest. He's not that good.
Fine Ice Show wishes
The
him all
lights-
the luck in the future, but
The
I
lights,
hope you prove us wrong.
the lights were too bright. And not just that, we've seen him play when the lights weren't that bright on a very
Yeah.
Saturday 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I don't think the
And
kid is
he
that
wasn't-
good, man. With all due respect, I don't think the kid is that good. He's not
He
that
wasn't
good.
that impressive when we seen him without the lights.
But number 25 for Middletown, the D-line, he's going to Kentucky next year. Number 52, last name is Burke. Shout out to Tamika Fields and Mark. Derek Burke. He's going to Navy. Those two are studs, bro.
Yo.
Those two are studs. But they doubled and triple teamed them all night long, which they should have. But Mr. Smith, Brady Smith, he's not that good, bro. He's not that good.
We've actually sat down and seen multiple high school football games. He's not even the best quarterback that we've seen.
Nope.
He's not even the best quarterback that we've seen in Delaware.
Nope.
I would say the best one I saw was the young gentleman Tyler Albera. I want to say
Chris Albera.
I'm sorry,
Archbeard.
Archbeard. He did the damn thing to Howard. You know what I'm saying? And we still looking for that same type of performance from I want to say the number 5 ranked passing quarterback in the nation.
It's really that bad.
He threw 1 touchdown pass, and that was what, 10 yards? It was a wide receiver screen, so that was nothing.
And he took it to the house.
He took it to the house, so that was more on a wide receiver. I hope the young man proves us all wrong.
I hope he lands
I hope he proves us wrong. Then the motherfucker like, oh yeah, I was wrong. I got the juice. Okay, cool. I was wrong. But from what we've seen, where people rank him at, he might be filling his clippings a little bit too much.
He's not an SEC quarterback. By no stretch of the imagination. I do want to shout out Lakely's up there guidance.
Jihad.
Back to Jihad. Jihad took another loss. You know, granted, there is a they got a team full of freshmen. But even in their loss, Mr. Goggins, a freshman, he shot at running back. He's a problem. He's going to be a problem.
A freshman, might I add.
He's going to be a problem.
A freshman,
Yeah.
might I add.
Yeah, I think that's all the games we went to. Glasgow and St. Joe.
We can't make them all, man. Somebody, you know what? This is a perfect time to say this, man. My auntie, shout out to Aunt Amy. She said, man, it's just so many things that's going on that people don't know about, like there's events, there's openings for jobs and stuff like that. They need referees, y'all.
Yeah, man.
They need referees bad, you know what I'm saying? So I know it's been times we've been at games, the games don't start on time because they don't have referees. I also want to juxtapose that to that in Wilmington. The kids of Wilmington, or just the commissioners of Wilmington, know shit about what's going on down at the Chase, formerly the Sixers field house. My auntie put me on, she said, look man, I don't think they understand that the kids that actually live in Wilmington never have been in the field house. You know why? They don't know what the fuck's going on. I was like, damn, auntie, you're right. You're right. I've been in the field house a couple times on other people's dime. You look around, it's just not a lot of people from the city in there. It's a whole lot of other people. I ain't mad at that, but also I'm like, can some kids that live 2 blocks away actually get into your building? You feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is in Wilmington. There's people in Wilmington that have never been in there. I don't know what's going on in there or any of that kind of stuff. So, Chase, 76ers Fieldhouse, whoever's in charge of this, if y'all listening, I know y'all are, can y'all let us know what the fuck's going on down there? So we can actually be a part of what's going on down there? Thank you.
Thank you. You know what I mean?
Much more needs to be said,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Shout out to my Aunt Amy, man. Shout out to my Aunt Amy, man.
Another one of the books, man. Another one of the books, man.
Another one.
We appreciate y'all rocking with us, man.
Yeah,
Rocking with the best, man. Once again, we'll be back next Tuesday night, man. You guys, man.
From the East Square Cigar Lounge, 3616 Kirkwood Highway.
As always, man. We wait shit all day, man. As always. Been a pleasure, man. To rap to y'all, man. Keep the comments coming, man. Fire Nice Crew, man. It's your boy B.
B-Man.
Hello, how are you? It's your guy Fresh, and we out.
No. We out. Easy.